So I got a case for you today.
Oh.
Believe it or not. Can you imagine if you just were like, and I was like, okay, well.
Like, I got a case for you. Yeah. A case of the Mondays, because I got that too. Later.
It's Tuesday.
I know. My case is really bad.
Oh, yeah. It's overnight. So today I'm going to be covering a case because I think in today's climate, I think you and I were kind of talking about, the issues in today's world a little bit before we got started today. I think it's worth discussing. And listen, I know not everyone wants to hear, I had a wonderful woman the other day slip into my DMs and told me that I should shut up about my views on politics. She said, furthermore, you're Canadian, so what you have to say doesn't even fucking matter.
Why would you listen to Canadian podcast? Never mind. Never mind. I'm sorry.
She actually told me to shut up and tell her who killed who.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And she said, she's like, nobody gives a shit if you're woke. And I was like, well,
I like to be woke.
It's been very nice talking to you.
Yes.
Ma'am. I like to imagine her name was Barbara. But just like I told her, if those are your thoughts and, you don't want to hear our perspectives, then maybe get your own podcast. I don't know.
It's very, very easy.
It's super easy. You just get a husband that'll pay for a studio.
Yes.
A beautiful listener who gives you this work of art. And
handsome co-host.
Sorry, a handsome co-host.
Oh, okay. Just keep it professional.
Just take it easy, bitch.
Wow.
But you know what? We do try to limit things, and people said we banter too much. We tried to save that for the end. But certain things I don't really give a fuck if you hate.
It's a bizarre take to be against any views of a Canadian podcast. Regardless.
Yeah, and she was on my Facebook. I was like, bye. I'm like, see yourself out.
Oh man, was she attractive or?
I didn't even look because
she may have a point.
Shut up.
I may have to hear her out.
You're not allowed to talk anymore. So there's plenty of podcasts out there that share, I'm sure, your views. If you are somebody who is not of the same views as us, and you're more than welcome to explore those avenues.
Yeah.
So thankfully, we are an independently run podcast. So if you want to complain, it's only going to Matt and I.
Yeah. And mainly Lynn, because I have a very thin skin and stuff just makes me cry.
He gets very emotional. So, I mean, that's really a bad point because now they're going to just send it to you hoping that'll make you sad.
Oh, no, for spite, if I know, I will not get sad and I will lash out.
Yeah, he does do that too.
I'll be like,
please see our last episode when he talked about being in Costco.
Yes. Oh, God, yes.
So, like I said, there are things that we will make an effort to change, and there are things that we won't make an effort to change. And the fact that, we care about people as a whole is not one of those things that I care about.
Yeah, that's a hot take.
We will always just care about everyone, and that's kind of, if that's woke, then so be it.
Yeah,
I guess.
I like being woke. I do. I take pride in my wokeness.
People use it as an insult, and truthfully, I mean, if that's insulting, then it is what it is. I'm not making any huge stance, but we do just care about people as a whole, no matter who they love, no matter what race they are, no matter what religion they are. I don't. So if you hate that about us, you're really going to hate this episode. Because in this case, we're going to be talking about somebody who was, kind of a trailblazer in wokeness.
Okay. I like that.
And we're going to go back to Europe at the end of 1938.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So you got an idea, right? There's a young man who lived in London, England, and he was planning a trip with his friend to go to Switzerland for skiing.
Down the Alps. I thought this was skiing.
Well,
maybe he wasn't Swedish.
Yeah, that's right. He's not going to be Swedish.
I don't think I want to do some skiing. Okay. Can we... I wonder if that face got... Because that was... What are you doing?
Please stop. He's not a chimney sweep. Or maybe he was. No, he was a stockbroker. So, this man was 29-year-old stockbroker Nicholas Winton.
Okay.
Have you ever heard that name before?
I don't believe I have.
It should be a name that everybody has heard, but...
Winton?
Winton. Like Winston, but not with an S.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had to correct myself multiple times in the script.
Winning a tin.
So,
you've won.
He was all set to go when he received a call from his buddy, Martin Blake. Martin was the friend that was supposed to be joining him on this skiing trip. This was right before Christmas in 1938. Martin called him and said he couldn't go. He was currently in Czechoslovakia.
Oh.
he would explain to Nicholas that he was in Prague, where thousands of people had been displaced, and he was doing what he could in bringing as many back to Britain as possible.
Oh, wow.
You see, a few months earlier, Adolf Hitler, you know the name, right?
Yes, I am familiar with his unfortunate...
Woof.
Yeah.
So Hitler had occupied Austria and was demanding possession of a region in Czechoslovakia called Sudetenland. The Prime Minister of the UK, his name was Neville Chamberlain, believing that they had still not recovered enough from World War I in order to defend Czechoslovakia, would meet with Hitler in the middle of September of 1938. He agreed that Sudetenland were occupied by more than 50% German people. So this is right on the border of Czechoslovakia and
hey,
German.
It's like half Germany.
He's like, he said, if any place that you want is occupied by more than 50% your people, you can take it. He's speaking on behalf of Czechoslovakia.
Oh my God. Right.
But being that it was right on the border of Germany, and so therefore, at this point in time, Sudetenland was to be handed over to Germany. The Czechs would be forced into this agreement because, if they didn't agree, they would be forced to fight Germany on their own.
Right.
They didn't have any allies that were going to be backing them in this fight. So they
Oh my God. So England's just like, yeah, you get the numbers.
Yeah.
You can just have it.
Pretty much. They didn't really have a choice, but they had to sign the agreement. And they would on September 21st. But on September 22nd, the very next day, Hitler, being the fucking irrational asshole that he was, would then state that he wanted all of the Czech people in Sudetenland to evacuate, which would leave 115,000 Czechs without homes. At first, the French, Italian, and British cabinets all rejected this. But they would meet again on September the 29th, and no Czech diplomats were permitted to join.
That's good.
Makes sense, right?
Well, if you want to pass something that doesn't benefit them, of course you don't want them in there.
So this time, the four leaders would agree on this stipulation. So they're displacing all of these.
The 15
and
or 150,000.
a large portion of these Czechoslovakians were Jewish, of course.
Okay, yeah.
And Chamberlain, the PM of Britain, would return home. This is an infamous thing where he was waving the agreement in the air and stating it is peace for our time. He was, basically just pacifying this fucking giant piece of shit.
Right.
And we know now that that's not exactly how it worked out. But so the Munich Agreement was what this was called. Have you heard of the Munich Agreement?
Yeah.
So the Munich Agreement was when the leaders of Britain, Italy, France, and fucking dipshit Hitler all met and agreed that these Czechoslovakian people would have to be rehomed. Yes. So,
oh my God.
And the Munich Agreement would be then forever known as a cowardly appeasement.
Boy, it's, you look for signs. If everybody says you don't pay attention to history, you're bound to repeat itself. Like, that is exactly what happened with, Russia and Ukraine. Like,
you're going to see a lot of parallels in this story.
Because people do say it didn't start with a concentration camp.
No, it didn't.
It doesn't start with the camps.
It didn't.
Starts with smaller. Man. Wow. I had no idea.
I will say going into this that I did, just for my own mental health, I will go into the last days of Hitler because he suffered a fucking whole lot. And it's just fun for me.
Oh, good. I love it. I love you.
It's just something that I did. It doesn't really add or take away from the story at hand.
Yeah.
It just makes us feel better.
Get to enjoy a little suffering.
Fun.
Yeah, good.
So,
I like it.
Fantastic. Back to Nicholas Winton.
It's all about balance.
Yeah,
We're about balance here.
A little bit of fun. So, what led to this phone conversation between these two young men was his buddy Martin saying, listen, I can't go to Switzerland. I'm trying to help these people. And Nicholas, who at the time was only 29 years old, he's living a privileged life. He's able to go to Switzerland to go skiing. Mm-hmm. He's a stockbroker, a very successful one at that. But when his friend called, he canceled his ski trip. And he decided that he was going to go to Prague himself and see if there was, something that he could do.
Wow.
So upon his arrival, he was overwhelmed because there was these I don't want to say camps because there's a certain, you think about a certain place when we're talking about World War II and camps, but it was essentially, there was material tents.
Yeah, it was like a ghetto.
This is where these people were now living. And Nicholas said that there was snow on the ground, and he was concerned, if not for everybody, what about these kids?
Sure.
So the BCRC, which was the British Committee for Refugees from Czechoslovakia, was there, and that's who his friend Martin was working with. And he was heartbroken by what he saw. He saw small children living in tents in these camps, which they had been rehomed. Like, they had just basically been uprooted with the clothes on their back.
Right.
So they were made, like I said, of fabric tents. There was one stove in the middle, and parents were like taking their kids' socks off and like putting their feet close to the fire so that they would just warm their feet. I do have to warn you too, Matt, getting to know you and doing our podcast together, this might be one that makes you cry.
Okay.
Because you're really...
I am a crier.
You don't cry at like murders and stuff like that.
No.
This is a topic that I think might get you. Okay. So I don't want to put you in that frame of mind, but I mean, brace yourself.
I appreciate that. Heads up. Strap in.
So there was snow on the ground, like I said, and many families had been forced to uproot. Like not just like literally like get the fuck out, like you're dead, essentially.
And I think that we, where we live in Canada, we don't really have that. So it's hard to, but I guess like if you picture, would it just be leaving without moving? Like you just have
Prague, and I did do the Sudetenland. It was, a few hours of a commute. So it was basically like get outside of, where your home walls are and everything. And we really don't care what you do.
Right.
And so it was just, they had their clothes. They weren't able to pack because they made this deal so quickly.
Yeah.
And so it was just leave and fucking figure it out. And I mean, like back in the 30s, like what stuff did they really have? It's not like, us where we have even photos and stuff like that. It was so rare to even have like...
Yeah, you're probably grabbing like your family jewelry.
Jewelry, yeah, I guess. I wouldn't even really... Yeah, just,
maybe your clothes, I don't know, but you think of the kids and the parents.
Yeah. So in one of the camps, there had already been a disease and sickness that had spread rapidly. Like I would imagine it was typhoid or something because that was very prominent in World War II. Mm-hmm. But Nicholas couldn't get over all of these kids. In some cases, it was kids looking after smaller kids or babies whose parents had been taken. Like these weren't even like kids that were related to them. And he decided in that moment that he needed to do something about it. Nicholas said that he had always lived under the motto, if something isn't blatantly impossible, then there must be a way of doing it.
That's a pretty good motto.
Nicholas is my hero. He would take up at a hotel in the middle of Prague that is still there to this day. It's called Grand Hotel Europa. And he would sit and try to figure out how he was going to get these children to safe places. He would write to leaders of all countries. I Googled, did Nicholas Winton write to the Prime Minister of Canada? And it said, AI told me. We don't have any record that Nicholas Winton, but there's so little that's known because we're going to find out that this was not known for 50 years, that any of this even took place.
Wow.
So we only have what Nicholas said in his short time afterwards.
I would struggle to think that anybody would be positive to receiving those letters.
Well, at the time, so he even wrote, Franklin Roosevelt was the president at the time, and he would hear back from the U.S., but it would be through the American Embassy in England. Okay. And it would state the United States government is unable, in absence of specific legislation, to permit immigration in excess of that provided for by the existing immigration laws. He would continuously get the same response, our borders are closed. Because in July of that same year, 32 country representatives would get together in Evian-les-Bains. That's French. Did that sound French? Hold on. Let me try it again.
I thought you were trying to say...
Evian-les-Bains.
I think it's pronounced labia.
No.
It's Evan labia.
Evian, like the water. Les Bains.
That's better.
Thank you. France, to discuss the growing crisis of Jewish refugees seeking safety from the Nazis. Most countries were afraid to offer too much in the way of refuge.
Oh, Jesus.
However, the Dominican Republic was the one place that opened its doors, offering homes to 100,000 refugees who needed it.
Really?
Wild, isn't it?
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Where would they even have that infrastructure for 150,000
And that's kind of what happened.
people?
It was hard. The reason a lot of people didn't, take them up on the offer was because it was hard for them to travel there, first and foremost. And they didn't really have the places, but they were like, yeah, if you can fucking get here, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Dominican Republic, hats off to you.
Wow, DR.
Because everywhere else, like even America and Canada had both, they capped it at like, I think it was 20,000, but then like with certain conditions, they would accept 30. But the Dominican was like, bring anybody you can here.
Like even after this war, after everybody saw the concentration camps and the Holocaust, they still were like, no, we're good. Listen, I'm going to need more paperwork.
I think that from what was discussed and what was agreed upon, they had, by that point, had definitely reached their limit. Mm-hmm. But I mean,
crazy.
I know.
Well, don't you just think though, like,
who cares about fucking rules?
Just open. Just come on in.
We'll figure it out.
We will figure it out. You're going to live in a gymnasium for now. It's not the greatest, but we're working on some spots for you. We got some other families here. They're going to take you in, everybody a little bit. But listen, we're here.
You're going to love this story. So, however, like I said, escaping Nazi-controlled Europe to get to the Dominican was a major hurdle. And because of these factors, Nicholas kept being met with wall after wall after wall. He was running out of time, and he knew this was, time sensitive. He needed to get these children somewhere safe, and the clock was ticking. He would see a map of the intended Nazi takeover. And it was essentially Europe as a whole.
Yeah.
During his short time in Prague, he was there for 3 weeks. Nicholas would go to the same cafe below his hotel every single day, and word would start spreading naturally that there was like a well-meaning Englishman who wanted to help save the children. And people would just start showing up to where he was, and there would be lineups, and people would just they were desperately trying to just give their kids to this man because they knew it was the only chance they had.
Only matter of time. Jesus.
And he started, officially registering children to the best of his ability.
Sure.
They didn't have computers or anything like that.
Yeah.
So he's taking down their parents' name and their date of birth and their address and where is their address? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So he would often go to bed at 2 a.m. while he was there and wake up bright and early to begin registering more children. Of course, this was being done face to face. There was nothing surreptitious about this. It was not, he couldn't be secretive about it, right? Mm-hmm. And naturally, some German spies became wise to what was happening. And this next part here, in my research, is next to impossible to find. The only reason I included it in this case is because I heard it straight out of his mouth. So I believe it.
Yeah.
He said...
Pretty good track record of being a trustworthy guy so far. I mean, you just got into it.
Pretty good. I'm going to say that.
We're on a limb here?
But you know what? I'm going to pause the video before we get into that.